Hi, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will tell you about today. I'm going to talk about the 7th episode of Justified. City Primeval, titled The Smoking Gun. This episode features the long-awaited showdown between Raylan Givens and Clement Mansell, two of the most badass characters on TV right now. If you haven't watched the episode yet, be warned, there will be spoilers ahead. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Justified. City Primeval is a revival of the FX series that wrapped in 2015 after 6 seasons. It stars Timothy Olyphant as Raylan Givens, a U.S. Marshal who has moved to Detroit and has a 15-year-old daughter, Willa Givens, played by Olyphant's real-life daughter, Vivian. The series follows Raylan's pursuit of Clement Mansell, a violent sociopath and a formidable defense attorney, played by Boyd Holbrook. Along the way, Raylan encounters various characters from his past and present, such as Carolyn Wilder, a former lover and a federal prosecutor, played by Anjani Ellis, Marcus Sweetie Sweeten, a former friend and a crime boss, played by Vondi Curtis Hall, and Maureen Downey, a journalist and a potential love interest, played by Marin Ireland. The Smoking Gun is the penultimate episode of the series, and it delivers on the promise of a thrilling confrontation between Raylan and Mansell. The episode begins with Raylan finding out that Mansell has kidnapped Willa and is holding her hostage in his mansion. Raylan wastes no time and heads to Mansell's place with his gun and his badge. He is met by Mansell's henchmen, who try to stop him from entering the house. Raylan manages to shoot his way through them and reaches the door. He kicks it open and finds Mansell waiting for him with a shotgun. The two men exchange some witty banter and then start shooting at each other. The scene is intense and action-packed, with bullets flying everywhere and furniture being destroyed. Raylan and Mansell are evenly matched, both in skill and in determination. They move from room to room, trying to gain an advantage over each other. At one point, Raylan runs out of bullets and has to resort to using his knife. He stabs one of Mansell's men in the neck and takes his gun. Meanwhile, Willa is locked in a closet upstairs. She hears the gunshots and tries to free herself. She finds a pair of scissors and cuts through the duct tape that binds her hands and feet. She then opens the closet door and looks for a way out. She sees a window and decides to climb out of it. She lowers herself down using a rope made of bed sheets and lands on the ground. She runs away from the house, hoping to find help. Back inside, Raylan and Mansell are still fighting. They end up in the kitchen, where they grab whatever they can find as weapons: knives, pots, pans, even a toaster. They throw them at each other with deadly force. Raylan gets hit in the shoulder by a knife and falls to the floor. Mansell walks towards him with a smirk on his face. He points his shotgun at Raylan's head and pulls the trigger. But nothing happens. Raylan looks up and sees that Mansell's shotgun is empty. He smiles and says, "Looks like you're out of luck." He then grabs his gun from his holster and shoots Mansell in the chest. Mansell falls back and crashes into a table. He drops his shotgun and clutches his wound. He gasps for air and says, "You think you've won? You think you've stopped me? You're wrong. I'll be back. I always come back." He then coughs up blood and dies. Raylan stands up and walks over to Mansell's body. He kicks his shotgun away and says, "Not this time." He then checks his wound and sees that it's not too serious. He calls for backup and asks for an ambulance. He then looks around the house and wonders where Willa is. The episode ends with a scene of Willa running on the street. She sees a police car coming towards her and waves at it. The car stops and 2 officers get out. They ask her if she's okay and if she needs help. She nods and says, "Yes, please. My name is Willa Givens. My father is Raylan Givens. He's in trouble." The screen fades to black. And that's it for my review of The Smoking Gun, the 7th episode of Justified, City Primeval. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This episode was a great example of how to create a suspenseful and satisfying climax for a series. The acting, the writing, the directing, everything was on point. I especially liked the performance of Timothy Olyphant and Boyd Holbrook, who brought their characters to life with charisma and intensity. They made me care about their conflict and their fate. What did you think of the episode? Did you like the way it ended? Are you excited for the finale? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and give feedback.